Hi, beautiful people. Happy Monday. Hope you guys are doing well and had a wonderful weekend. Gypsy Rose sure had quite the eventful weekend, and she is so predictable. It was so obvious that on Thursday when she did that video and said how Christy gave her time to herself and that she was having a mummy makeover or spa day, well, all that was BS, and I called it. She was getting herself together for Jazz Fest. But my thing is, why does Gypsy feel the need to lie? Why couldn't she just be upfront? But anyway, I will get into that in another video. I felt the need to address this person who is so far up Gypsy Rose's backside that her bootstraps are no longer even visible. And it's people like her that continue to take up for Gypsy Rose and continue to excuse her bad behavior, which needs to stop. I am referring to Recaps with Julie. She did a video where Gypsy made this post. Don't listen to what she has to say.
Gypsy Rose Blanchard has now called out her ex-husband, Ryan Anderson, for texting her dad. She writes, "Texting my dad. I'm your ex-wife, not your medical provider. Do you want to stop now, Ryan Anderson?" If you're not sure what she's referring to, Ryan shared screenshots yesterday of his messaging with Gypsy Rose.
One screenshot, Julie. That's all Ryan shared. A singular screenshot, not multiple, as you are saying, screenshots.
In return, she shared a screenshot calling him out for allegedly being on methadone for the last 10 or so years because of an opioid addiction.
Are you kidding me? So you saying Gypsy only shared one screenshot and Ryan shared multiple screenshots? Please go and do your due diligence, Julie, Recap, or Recaps with Julie, whoever or whatever your name is.
Ryan is obviously upset that Gypsy posted that, and he's messaging her dad trying to get him to get Gypsy to remove the post. He wrote saying, "Tell Gypsy she better take her last post down about me or I'm going to sue her for a HIPAA violation and defamation. She had no right to tell people that." So Gypsy responded saying, "I'm not your medical provider." Now, what she's talking about is the fact that he says he's going to sue her for HIPAA violation. HIPAA violation refers to a medical professional leaking your medical information. So no, this does not apply to Gypsy. And as for defamation, if this is true, it's actually not defamation either. And as for asking her dad to get her to remove her post, Ryan hasn't removed his post. So just my opinion, but wouldn't you think he'd remove his post first and then hope that she'd remove hers? Either way, things just got nasty between these two. Let me know your thoughts in the comments.
Tell me you bias without telling me you bias. Why would Ryan need to remove his post? Julie, did you not get the memo that when Gypsy made her minion, Bree, post a message that Ryan had actually sent to Gypsy, and Gypsy got her to do it? Have you not seen how hurt Ryan was when he found out on national television that Gypsy considered him one of the public? He felt he has been there for her throughout. He endured a lot. She messaged him when she gave birth and showed him a picture of baby, and still he is loyal and still shows her a lot of grace. And you have the audacity to say he hasn't taken his post down? She has falsely accused Ryan of being abusive to her. She said we will see it on a reality show. And what are we seeing on a reality show? That she is the problem. She is the abuser. She is doing all the bad stuff to him. You on your soapbox trying to stand in the gap for Gypsy, standing up for Gypsy as if she did no wrong, and making it sound like she cannot be held responsible for HIPAA violation or defamation, if it is true. That is true. But let's talk about what she can be held responsible for. Julie, you see in the state of Louisiana, they recognize the right to privacy law. And even if Ryan was on that medication and he did disclose that information to Gypsy, he didn't give her that information or permission to share the information with the public. This was absolutely maliciously done. Gypsy could face consequences for making that post, such as invasion of privacy, by releasing public disclosure of private facts, intentional infliction of emotional distress, which could be a civil liability. If harm is caused, like I said, Maybe one of her diehards do her dirty work for her, as they usually do, and Ryan loses his job. He could sue her for emotional and or reputational distress. In case you missed it, and this is just a heads up, one person already did lose their job because Gypsy was so butthurt and couldn't handle rejection and criticism. And the person who lost their job was another woman that you know and called nasty. And I'm sure you don't need to be reminded about the stuff you said about Flawless Nina, who was the one that got fired from her job at the direction of Gypsy and her minions, in my opinion, that do her dirty work for her. Did you also miss the part of a reality show where she was confronted by a producer of the show that asked her, why did she get her BFF Bree to post a private message from Ryan to Gypsy? And her response was this.
Why did you have Bree post instead of you posting?
I couldn't do it myself. Felt like if I posted it myself, that he would have received a message that I'm trying to hurt him, and that's not what I was trying to do. The message is that I in no way want to prevent the healing process, but I do not want to be with him either. And that's definite.
Anyway, do you think that all what Gypsy said in that post will not get to Ryan's school, where he teaches special ed kids? Her diehards, as they call themselves, the FBI, are ruthless. And just like how you feel that Gypsy does no wrong, they are the same. This post was absolutely done with malicious intent on Gypsy's part. And again, you excusing her behavior. Julie is so irresponsible in her reporting. When Gypsy did put this post out about Ryan, Julie falsely claims in her video that Ryan threw the first punch.
Gypsy Rose Blanchard has taken the gloves off when it comes to her ex, Ryan Anderson, and Ryan threw the first punch.
Ryan threw the first punch? Are you kidding me? Ryan may not be everybody's cup of tea, but this man has shown this monster too much grace, in my opinion. Now, as someone that does commentary, I do believe that one should do their due diligence, do proper research. But it is clear that this woman just takes Gypsy's word because it is known that she has contact with Gypsy and Christy, and she clearly doesn't keep up with stuff. Timing is everything, and if she had done her due diligence, she would have known that the reason Ryan was upset, like I said in the beginning, was because he found out that Gypsy considered him one of the public. And please correct me if I'm wrong. Ryan did not post this screenshot because Gypsy was living her best life at Jazz Fest with Ken. He posted it before she went to Jazz Fest. And this makes me sick to my stomach because she is once again making Gypsy look like the innocent victim, and that Ryan is being so mean. And this is her explanation or interpretation of the text message that Ryan released.
So back in January, it had been going around that Amber J and Ryan were dating or had hooked up or something like that. Now, Gypsy and Ryan had actually been chatting a bit back in January. She was postpartum, she had just had Aurora, and Ryan and Gypsy had dated and been friends for over 3 years. So I believe they were still in some sort of contact at that time. Well, Ryan has now dropped screenshots of Gypsy's text messages.
She said Ryan and Gypsy had been chatting in January, and from what I heard out of Julie's mouth, the reason they were chatting was because Gypsy was postpartum. She just had baby Aurora. What the fuck? She goes on to say that they had dated and been friends for over 3 years. Does she not remember they were married? Gypsy left her husband, hooked up with another man, got knocked up, and when she gave birth to baby Aurora, she sent a picture of that baby to her ex-husband. What the fuck am I missing here? And what is she not getting? And continuing to give Gypsy Rose free passes and excusing her bad behavior.
Well, Gypsy, who, like I said, was out having a great night with her boyfriend Ken, decided to clap back. And she did so in a pretty major way. She posted a screenshot of some towels saying, "Secret life of the sweat rag," captioned it saying, "Kid gloves off, huh? Okay, Ryan Anderson," and had this piece of information. And here's a close-up of the information she was highlighting. It says, methadone is an opioid medication that treats opioid use disorder and chronic pain. Common methadone side effects include nausea and vomiting, constipation, and increased sweating. So yes, Gypsy's drawing attention to the fact that Ryan sweats a lot and apparently uses a towel to wipe the sweat off constantly, but she's also pointing out that Ryan takes methadone.
She calls this a clapback in a major way. How about a dangerous and irresponsible way, Julie? The exact same thing you are doing here, being irresponsible. You didn't even have the decency to watch Ryan's live, to see exactly how he felt or what he was feeling or going through. And you guys, things just get worse from here.
As far as I know, Ryan has not been open about this part of his life, but apparently he's been taking methadone for the last few years due to an opioid addiction he had in his 20s. We hadn't heard too much from Gypsy's ex in the last while. He had been pretty quiet about the situation, so everyone's wondering why he's coming out now going after Gypsy. My thoughts on this, perhaps it's the fact that the divorce is finally finalized. They did have the second paternity test done to prove that Ryan is not the father of Aurora, and I don't believe that they've been in contact since before March. Maybe he's now realizing that things are really over and he's having a tough time with it.
I just can't. I truly can't. With people like Recap with Julie, this is just so fucked up. If I didn't know better, I would have believed every word she said. Who do you think Julie got that information from? Who told her all those things about Ryan? Is that what Gypsy got you to say, Julie? And in regard to what Ryan was doing in his early 20s, maybe I missed that, and it is known to the public. If any of you have heard this, just let me know that you have, and I completely missed it. And then she ends with saying that she doesn't think they have been in contact since March. But earlier in a fucking video, she stated that they were chatting in January, texting as contact. Nobody is wondering why he is coming out now, Julie. Again, maybe you didn't get it the first 2 times. Ryan was hurt by what Gypsy said about him, considering him part of the public. Ryan never did think that Aurora was his child. You are irresponsible as fuck, especially to put out and draw even more attention to what Gypsy is trying to draw attention to. Julie, Gypsy was never a victim. She's not a victim, and she never will be a victim. In my opinion, she is the abuser. And in future, do your due diligence before giving your thoughts and excusing the actions of a convicted murderer. In ending this, where is Julie's commentary on Gypsy threatening Ryan? Or when Gypsy was at the gym talking about Ryan must be hurting, people should show him grace. Julie, people like you make me sick to my stomach. The ignorance, you not doing your due diligence, being so gullible, it's truly unbelievable. So you guys, let me know what you think down in the comment section. Thank you guys so much for taking the time out of your busy schedule to watch and support my channel. Have a wonderful, safe, and productive week. Please be safe out there. Be kind to one another, and don't forget, make good memories. Bye, guys.